Each week on Culinary Confidential, Christina Cates, a seasoned foodie who has worked at some of New York City's top restaurants, will share her passion for the culinary world. Whether you're a professional chef, a restaurant enthusiast, or a lover of good food, Christina dives into the heart of hospitality, exploring the trends, triumphs, and challenges facing the food service profession. And you won't want to miss her chats with some of the most interesting and influential industry voices. And now, please take your seat at the table as Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates starts now, exclusively on AM 970. The Answer.
Welcome to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates. This show is produced in association with my dear friend, Lucas A. Ferrara. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, a holiday that is notoriously known as one of the most popular bar days of the year, second only to Thanksgiving Eve. St. Patrick's Day, which is celebrated tomorrow, honors St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. The holiday originally had strong religious roots because it marked the anniversary of St. Patrick's death in the 5th century. However, over time, it evolved into a broader celebration of Irish culture. The modern connection between St. Patrick's Day and drinking is largely a product of Irish immigrants in America. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Irish communities in cities like Boston and New York began holding these public celebrations with parades and festive drinking. And by the 20th century, the holiday had become widely commercialized, with bars and breweries promoting it as a day of revelry. I think we've all heard the phrase, drowning the shamrock. And that comes from the old Irish tradition where people would place a shamrock in their drink, toast to St. Patrick, and then drink it, symbolizing good fortune. But in this day and age, St. Patrick's Day is often associated with beer, especially Guinness, whiskey, and green-colored drinks. While Ireland itself has embraced the more festive aspects of this holiday, it really wasn't until 1970 that the Irish pubs were even allowed to open on March 17th. Before that, it was considered just too solemn for drinking. St. Patrick's Day is a celebrated holiday for my family personally. I come from a big Irish family that traces its roots back to Limerick in Ireland. My grandmother and her 12 sisters were professional Irish step dancers, and I have fond memories growing up at family weddings or celebrations in church basements of my grandmother and my great aunts dancing the night away to Irish folk music. My family was never big drinkers, though. So the stigma that Irish people can throw them back never held true to the Irish people I knew. The only thing my family is drinking on St. Patrick's Day are shamrock shakes, which is just vanilla milkshakes with green food coloring. So that's how I came up with the idea for the show tonight. Now, keeping up with the current trends, as I tend to do on Culinary Confidential, people are overall drinking a lot less and being more health conscious. So I thought it would be interesting to do a show around the alternative cocktail options because of the sober curious movement and growing trends of mindful drinking that is so popular, especially with the younger generations like Gen Z and even millennials. My guest this evening is Megan Klein, founder of Little Saints, a brand of non-alcoholic cocktails and spirits powered by mushrooms. Megan created Little Saints in 2021 as a solution to a problem that many people face. The work hard, play hard mentality surrounding booze personally took a toll on her health, but the non-alcoholic options on the market left much to be desired. With the help of an expert food scientist, Megan developed Little Saints. It has 0 sugar. It's a non-alcoholic cocktail and spirits fueled by functional mushrooms that capture the flavor, feeling, and enjoyment of alcohol, just without the hangover. I came across Megan and Little Saints when I flipped on the TV one Friday night, and she was the season 16 opener for the popular ABC investor show Shark Tank. Shark Tank, it's not a show that I watch. I rarely watch television, and when I do, I want to watch garbage reality TV, something on Bravo, like The Housewives or Below Deck. It's my guilty pleasure. But Megan captivated me, and I couldn't turn it off until she was done with her part of the segment. She had a great presence on the show, and what I loved most was that after the Sharks offered her, their investment ideas, she walked away from them, completely confident in what her vision was, and decided she didn't need their money. And she knew her numbers inside and out. She didn't sweat a thing. And then, of course, I was intrigued by this functional mushroom-based non-alcoholic cocktail concept. Okay, Megan, tell me, what exactly is a functional mushroom-based cocktail?
So the cocktails that I grew up with, I don't know when you started drinking. I started drinking when I was 15. But the cocktails that we grew up with were powered by alcohol, right? Like alcohol is like the functional thing. It's the thing that's going to make you feel something, and it's why you're putting the liquid in your lips. We believe that the cocktails of the future have a rainbow of fuels. And functions, and mushrooms are just one of those fuels. So we make non-alcoholic cocktails. They're like in little cans, and spirits in bottles, just like you would see on a back bar. And they have functional mushrooms. So we use reishi and lion's mane as like the kind of core fuel, and then they are flavored like cocktails, and they've got a great nose for cocktail aficionados that like to smell before we drink.
Okay, but I was confused when I first heard of this because I was like, mushrooms? Am I going to hallucinate if I drink this? Like, if so, that's fine. I just want to know what I'm getting into. So when we talk about functional mushrooms, how do they differ from culinary mushrooms?
Functional mushrooms differ from culinary mushrooms. So functional mushrooms are something that have like basically some sort of an adaptogenic benefit. An adaptogen is anything that helps us respond to stress. And historically, that's why most adults drink alcohol, we maybe have social anxiety, or we just want to like take the edge off at the end of the workday. And so like functional mushrooms like reishi and lion's mane, some have some sort of an adaptogenic or cognitive benefit. And they're very slight. It's not like alcohol where you're feeling intoxicated. So we originally put reishi mushroom in the cocktails. We worked with, I have neuroscience advisors, and I formulated these with a food scientist with her master's in adaptogens, along with a bartender. And our food scientist was like, if you want something that's going to mimic that take the edge off feeling that like some people originally associated with CBD, which is like reishi mushroom is the best for that. And so that's why we originally put reishi in the cans. And then when I started formulating the St. Ember, which is like a mezcal tequila alternative, I don't drink alcohol anymore, but when I did drink, I loved mezcal and tequila, and I felt like it made me a little smarter. I was like, I'm just a little more interesting right now. And so I wanted something with that sort of like cognitive benefit to it. And lion's mane is known for, people put it in their coffee for focus. People take it for kind of like brain health. Lion's mane is more known in the brain health arena of things. We like to say it boosts your magnetism. Basically, that just means that, like, you're feeling like a little bit more alert. You're like a little bit more present with the other person because of the lion's mane.
I love it. So you have lion's mane mushroom, which is the magnetism, the reishi mushroom, which gives you that chill factor. You have botanicals in it, which is it livens the senses, if you will, and Damiani, am I saying that correctly?
No, but that's kind of cute. So it makes you sound like a girl. Damiana. So we just started putting Damiana into certain things. I think you've tried the St. Juniper, which is our newest spirit. It's a gin alternative.
Right.
And Damiana is like known as a heart opener. So that food scientists with their masters in adaptogens and a bunch of other, really witchy planty friends are like, Damiana and mushrooms play really well together because Damiana is a flower. It is sourced in South America, and it is like a kind of like a light heart opener.
I love it. Oh, where are you sourcing the rest of these mushrooms from?
I'm like a total psycho about sourcing and making sure that like we know where things are coming from and we like know how they're grown and made. And so these are sourced from a organic farm in California that extracts these mushroom extracts with ultrasound. So I know this from my days with CBD, like a lot of, supplement extracts are extracted with CO2 or alcohol or something like that. And these are just like the cleanest extracted with ultrasound.
How big is the market for functional mushrooms?
Good question. I wish I knew. It's like so all over the place because there's functional mushrooms in coffee that really helps us because people.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
People have probably heard of mushroom coffee, right? So
Yep.
it's like, no, it's just like a mushroom cocktail, mushroom coffee, mushroom cocktail. So there's the mushroom coffees. There's the mushroom like supplements on their own. There's like functional mushrooms in a lot of other food products. Lots of like energy drinks. So it's really hard to say. I can say that the market for non-alcoholic drinks is also confusing. The best information out there I got from Diageo that said that the size of the non-alcoholic drinks market that are trying to mimic alcohol, like Little Saints, is like about $1 billion.
Wow.
Which is very tiny in comparison because I think alcohol is, what is it, $72 billion? Maybe it's 700. It's like it's like $70 billion. So non-alcoholic drinks are still a very tiny market compared to alcohol, but growing a lot. They're growing
a lot.
100% year over year in some categories.
I mean, because I talk about this a lot on the show this year specifically. I've done a lot of shows around like health and wellness and things like that because there is, as I've mentioned, a sober, curious movement and mindful drinking movement going on right now. So these younger generations are actually drinking less and less alcohol-based drinks. And you've said yourself, you still consider yourself someone who drinks, you just drink better.
Yeah, exactly. I did drink alcohol for the first year and a half after I created Little Saints. I never intended to quit drinking because that is how we've socialized since the beginning of time. I'm not sure exactly like when like early humans started making cups, but we always want a cup in our hand. All those hilarious ads that are like, I replaced my nightly wine with a gummy. It's like at a party, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
You still want to be like, you still want a drink in your hand that makes you feel like an adult and makes you like feel like you are doing something participatory. And so like, I still definitely drink. I'm just drinking something now that's better than alcohol. So most of the times it's Little Saints, but like, of course, there's a lot of other good non-alcoholic brands out there too.
I mean, people have been drinking since the beginning of time. They've been making wine in their basement or they're in their cave. So yeah, people want to drink something. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the nutritional profile of the Little Saints mocktail, if you will. It's only 5 calories. That's fantastic.
Yeah, when I was formulating these, I formulated these after I did Dry January 2021, after drinking my face off during 2020 during COVID. Oh my God.
Did.
I was like, we all did, right? And mine was like Negronis. I was making Negronis at home all the time. And it was like many people, I was like super into wellness during the day, like all of the supplements, all of the things, working out. And then I would have a couple cocktails at night. And during COVID, I was like, oh, I'm like spending half of my day just trying to feel like normal. Even if I didn't have that many drinks, I just saw how much it affected me. And so I got everything that was out there at the time. And there are a lot of beautiful brands that still exist today. But everything was full of sugar. And I was like, well, if I'm going to drink sugar, I'm just going to drink alcohol. Nothing had a really good nose to it, like a really good smell. So I wasn't tricked. I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm drinking a LaCroix. And then the third thing was nothing had a really good functional mushroom in it. And I'm, sounds silly, but I'm pretty witchy. I've been working with mushrooms for a long time. Like I knew how well they worked in my coffee. Like I know which mushrooms are good and bad for supplements to take during the day. And so I was like, oh, I think that we can actually be really additive to this category. Like I think that we have something to offer here in that sugar-free, mushroom kind of like nice nose to it category.
So what are some popular cocktails that you can make with this spirit?
So the St. Ember is our first spirit, and again, that's a mezcal tequila alternative. It makes a great margarita. I was having those at this event we did this weekend, just like the St. Ember, lime juice, and if you want to, a little bit of, tiny bit of agave spirit. Last night I was drinking St. Juniper and tonics, which makes like a really good gin and tonic. I'm a person that likes to mix my cocktails, but then we have the canned cocktails, which are ready to drink. My favorite one of those is the Negroni because I like bitter, but frankly, it's our least selling one. Most of our customers like more of the sweet. So the Paloma is like a grapefruit margarita. That's our best selling ready to drink. And then a close second is our new, we like launched an old fashioned. We still have some of the spiced old fashions left, and those are really good.
That's very interesting. Now, you had this work hard, play hard lifestyle, you know, in your previous jobs. Can we talk about that? And then the reason why you kind of wanted to get into this functional mushroom-based, you know, arena?
Yeah, I mean, so I used to be a lawyer, and then I was an entrepreneur in the food space for a while. I ran a plant-based salad dressing and dip company. And, you know, whether you're running a startup or a lawyer, like many people, I'm just working all the time. And then, like, at night, I would want to socialize, and that would always involve cocktails. And I always felt like that was my reward. You know, I'd wake up, I'd meditate, I'd do yoga, I'd work out, I'd eat healthy. And then I was like, okay, now it's like my reward time to have the cocktail. And that was like the work hard, play hard. And I always thought like playing was reliant on alcohol. Like the two completely went hand in hand to me until I started Little Saints and started experimenting with this. And so, you know, then like I said, I saw how much alcohol was like affecting my health. And specifically that meant that like, I felt like I had like a little bit of a mild fog. I always kind of felt like a little bit dull. And, you know, I'm 46. I was looking at my face, and you know, when you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you just kind of look like shit.
Yes.
I was like, oh, this, I don't feel good. So I'm going to, you know, this work hard, play hard thing is kind of starting to catch up. And I started Little Saints in my 40s, and I was like, maybe it's just time now. I would say I still work hard and play hard. I just redefined play, just to drink something other than alcohol. Like the thing is, like, the reason I never wanted to quit drinking, because I was like, there's no way I'm not going out anymore. Like, I'm not getting new friends. I'd had therapists that would be like, you need all new friends. You need to stop. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I like my friends.
Yeah.
I like my life. I'm still going out. I'm still going to shows. I'm still playing. I like going to restaurants. Like, I'm not stopping any of that. Like, I didn't want to change any of my lifestyle. I just wanted to feel better. And so I still go out all the time. I just can do it so much better. And I like feel it's like a whole new world.
All right. So let's talk about the success that Little Saints has had, because I mean, the sky's the limit. You're growing year over year. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we had a slow start in the beginning. Like when I started in 2021, I started selling just out of like a little vending trailer that I named Baby Mint in Detroit. And then I moved in between New York and LA, and I was trying to grow Little Saints, trying to do too many things. Basically, in 2023, we did $1.6 million, and in 2024, we did $9.6 million.
Wow.
And yeah, I know. And we broke 2 million in January alone. And so we're doing really well. And I would say, of course, like Little Saints has a great product. Like we're one of the only non-alc cocktail that's like positioned as a cocktail that's sugar-free. Yeah. And I know I do events all the time. I do like 2 events a week. Like I know that's what people are looking for. And then people also like are interested in mushrooms. So I feel like we're hitting 2 things that people like really want. And then in addition to that, like you mentioned before, I mean, like non-alcoholic drinks are soaring in popularity because people are drinking less and less. The statistics are wild. Like 56% of Gen X drinks regularly, 41% of millennials, and only 21% of Gen Z.
It's incredible.
People are like, it's amazing. So it's just this like, it's a cultural shift. It's not like a trend. And I'm sure you've noticed that too. It's no longer, I mean, when I quit drinking 2.5 years ago, I felt like I needed to explain myself. And now it doesn't feel so much that way.
Absolutely.
To me, I think that like people not drinking is sort of like starting to just like permeate into culture, and like more and more people are looking for like what I like to call them like adult nighttime drinks that just happen to not have alcohol in them. And so that's why the category is booming so much.
Listen, I can tell you personally, I mean, I was in the restaurant business. I drank every single day, whether it was like a glass of wine or a cocktail at the end of the night. I drank every day. My whole life was food and beverage. I don't know what's happened to me in this last year. I rarely drink for no reason at all. I just woke up one day and was like, I just don't feel like drinking anymore. And I kind of did this when I was in Italy this past summer, which is like the mecca of wine. I was like, yeah, I don't feel like drinking, and I'm not doing it. And like, I will have a cocktail now, I would say once every couple of months. I just don't have a taste for it anymore. So for me, this is very interesting because I still go out a lot like yourself, and I want to feel like I'm still involved, but I don't want to just sip on a club soda because that gets boring after a while. I was all about Little Saints when I heard it. Megan, I don't want
thank
you to
you.
go anywhere. We have to go to a commercial break. So stay right where you are. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970 The Answer.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this,
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill wearing skates? If you run or manage a local business today, you're challenged like never before. We get it, and we want to help. We're Salem Surround, and when it comes to marketing, consider us your personal Move You Forward company. In a recent study, we found that 53% of local businesses were classified as novices when it came to designing, implementing, and managing their marketing needs. And that's where Salem Surround truly shines. We're a full-service marketing agency that'll help you increase your customer base by designing incredibly effective plans to reach your consumers day, night, and everywhere they might be. Let us give you an absolutely free audit of your current marketing and what your competition is doing. Our digital sales and support teams are the best in the industry and deliver customized personal service that's second to none.
If you're a local business and ready for the next step, Google Salem Surround New York right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround New York today.
You're listening to AM 970 The Answer, your trusted conservative voice. Now, New York City has a new trusted conservative TV network, Salem News Channel, home to the brightest minds in conservative opinion. And you can watch Salem News Channel free over the air with an antenna. Watch Salem News Channel on channel 45.7. Learn more at snc.tv. That's snc.tv.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to NewmanFerrara.com. That's NewmanFerrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
This is Dennis Prager. If you share my passion for free speech and rational thinking, become a member of the ultimate online community for all things Prager. It's Pragertopia Plus. It's less than a cup of coffee a month. Listen or watch every show, all commercial-free. Share your favorite segments with your friends. Now listen commercial-free to my friends Mike Gallagher, Seb Gorka, and Hugh Hewitt as well. Stream every lecture and course offered in the Prager store. Pragertopia Plus members can submit questions for my monthly online Ask Me Anything. Yes, you can ask me anything. We also just added a live chat feature for the Pragertopia community. Chat with me, Alan, and Sean during the show. Great life discussions without restricted topics. Get everything from the show, including lectures, courses, and films as a Pragertopia Plus member. Go to Pragertopia.com and get 20 of the top happiness hours from 2023 for free. That's Pragertopia.com.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970. The Answer.
Okay, we're back. I'm back with Megan Klein, who is the founder of Little Saints, one of the fastest growing brands in the non-alcoholic beverage category. Megan, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Christina. I'm so happy to be here.
All right, let's start talking about your experience on Shark Tank. Because that's kind of how I discovered you, and that was incredible. I mean, I want to talk Shark Tank this whole segment. Please, dive right in.
Okay, let's do it. So when you are an entrepreneur, anyone who's an entrepreneur listening to this knows, like, at least once a week, someone will tell you need to be on Shark Tank. And so it was already kind of that bug in my ear. And I got really lucky. I think I was going to apply, but I got scouted.
Oh, you got scouted?
Yes, I got scouted because it's what they don't kind of tell you is that, like, Shark Tank, a lot of the brands in the non-alcoholic beverage space, they've raised a lot of money and they have institutional capital. And not to say brands with institutional cannot get on Shark Tank. There certainly have been brands that have, but it's just a lot harder because the Shark Tank process is, like, legit. Like, they do a lot of due diligence on you. It is not a joke. Like, you need a lot of consents and stuff. Like, for example, hilariously, my mother, who is one of my investors, had to do a video, like, saying, like, yeah, I'm okay if Megan goes on Shark Tank.
Oh, my goodness. That's so funny.
Yeah, so it was, I think I was, I didn't realize, like, how well positioned, like, not me, but just, like, the way that we had fundraised and stuff was for the show.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful. But then even though I got scouted, I went through the whole application process, and it is hard. It's like a full-time job. It's kind of actually harder than fundraising, to be totally honest, which I'm in the middle of now. So it was like a lot of work.
When you started, though, like the process, like the paperwork or whatever, how long was that from the inception of this idea of you coming on to when you were actually on?
It was 5 months from the starting the application to taping.
Wow.
And then I was on TV 4 months after I taped.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I could wait that long. 9 months basically knowing that this was coming.
And I got lucky, though, because I was on the first episode of the season.
Right,
so
you were the opener.
I feel bad for I was the opener. I got so lucky. So I was, if I would have had to wait until now, or even like to be one of the last in May, I would have been losing my mind.
I said this in my intro to introducing you earlier. That's how I discovered you. I don't watch Shark Tank. It's just not a show that I like to watch. I'm not a numbers person, margins, percentages, like I'm lost. But when I turned on the TV one night, it was you. Like, you just kind of came on the stage, and I was captivated by your presence and your delivery of your product. And I just couldn't stop watching it. I watched the whole show. And it's literally the last Shark Tank show I watched because, like I said, I don't watch it. But I thought you were incredible. Were you nervous at all?
I was nervous because if you've noticed, all the entrepreneurs, you have a 90-ish second pitch that you have to say in the beginning, and that has to be memorized, and I'm not good memorized.
Yeah. Like, they don't give you a prompt, like a teleprompt or nothing?
No. It's got to be memorized. You've got to say it right. And so, I was nervous. I was like, oh, my God, don't mess this up. But then once I got through that, I wasn't nervous anymore. I was like, oh, my God, thank God I nailed it. Like,
you nailed
the right word.
Nailed.
And then then the rest of it was fun because I know my numbers. Like, I have, I've been in fundraising meetings before, so I kind of, luckily I knew how it was going to go. I felt really confident, getting back to them was, our numbers.
Which shark did you hope to align with before you went on the show? Did you have someone in your head?
Mark Cuban. Yes, I wanted Mark Cuban so bad. And then when he said he didn't want to invest in the category, I don't know if you heard me, but I was like, wait, really? No, are you sure?
Can you reconsider?
Are you sure about that? But he was so nice to me on the show. He was kind of helping me with some numbers, and when people would give me a bad deal, he would roll his eyes kind of. It was really fun. I felt really grateful.
Did they give you any advice that we didn't see on the show, after taping or anything?
You know, the only advice they really give you is to like keep your mouth shut. So I was really nervous. Like I was just like, oh my God, like please. I kind of like I'm bad at keeping. I'm good at keeping my friends' secrets, but like this one felt too big. And also, you need to like make sure you have enough inventory and make sure your team knows. And so I was just afraid that it was going to get out to ABC and then they weren't going to air it. If they were going to air it, you don't know that you're going to air. What happens is you tape it and like they give you 3 weeks notice and like you could be on TV anytime within 9 months.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. It was
when you like finally discovered when you were going to be on, did you have some kind of like little viewing party?
I did. So I live in Miami, and that's where Little Saints is based. And the Standard Hotel here is really nice, and we have stuff on the menu. And so we had a nice viewing party here. Probably like, I don't know, 100 people showed up. It was really fun.
Do you have any
We
regrets?
had a shark-shaped ice luge.
Oh, that's
just
sick.
To make it totally ridiculous. Yeah. Do I have any regrets?
Because you walked away. You didn't take anything they offered you. Because you had some offers.
Yeah, I did. I got 3 offers, and they were all just like, you know, at the end of the day, it's business. I was like, wait, these numbers don't make any sense. You're offering me like one time my trailing revenue when I'm growing at 600% year over year. That makes no sense. And, you know, it's like the amount of money that they were going to give me wasn't going to take me to the finish line. I would just still needed to raise more money, which I'm doing now. And I wouldn't have been taken seriously in the eyes of any real investors had I taken those deals.
I love it.
And so, yeah, no, I don't have any regrets. You know, I get a lot of backlash on the internet.
Why?
Like, many people are very nice, but many people are like, you were stupid not to take those deals.
Oh,
like
the
they could have gotten you so far. But do you know that I saw Kevin after the show?
Where?
Christine, is so crazy. So during Art Basel in Miami, my friends are like, kid you not, Kevin O'Leary is next to us at the bar. Get over here. So I like run over there and I said hello to him, like real Kevin O'Leary, and he didn't remember me. And so I like refresh his memory and he's like, sorry, I get pitched so many times. So then he's like, what happened on the show? So I tell him and he was like, well, you made a terrible mistake. And these are my 2 friends as my witness are listening to this. And like, he's like, there's no humor in them. He's like, you made a terrible mistake. I was like, oh, thanks, you know? And then he was like, your business might be doing well now, but it's going to do horribly. You're never going to make it. And my friends are just sitting there with their mouths wide open. And it was hilarious because it just so happened he was wearing like a black leopard jacket and I was wearing like a regular like black and yellow leopard jacket. I was like, Kevin, let's just take a picture in our little leopard jackets. This is so fun. So I put my arm on him and we both smile and my friend's has the camera and he turns to me and he goes, you ruined your life. And then we took the picture. It was insane, Christina. I was like, what? And then he walked away. I was like,
he sounds like a jerk, Megan.
I was like, thank you, universe, that this man is not on my cap table. Like, seriously? I made the right decision. Like, no regrets there.
Oh, you know what? I didn't plan on watching this show ever again, but now I'm really not.
Oh, no, but there's a lot of entrepreneurs that say no to him. I think that's part of his shtick, but I'm very glad I did also.
I think you made the right decision also. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Miami, South Florida, because like you said, that's where you're based. How has Little Saints been received in a party town like Miami?
Well, listen, so Miami is our second best market for our e-com sales. So we still do like 85% of our sales through our website, littlesaints.com. We have a tiny little distribution business. We're in Sprouts, which is our like first national retailer, and we do great there and we love them. But most of it is sold through our website. So I would say since we like do little parties here all the time, we're always kind of like, donating to events that we like we have really good brand awareness in Miami, but to be honest, the distribution network in terms of trucks taking, the bottles to put behind the bars, we are lagging there. I think that we are like almost getting there. Like I mentioned, we're on the standard menu. We're at Soho House.
Nice.
We've got like a lot of like good kind of key accounts here, like Zay, which is a really good club, but like it's definitely slower than it may have been had I launched in LA or New York, where there's like a lot more kind of like the cultural shift is farther along. People still do like to drink in Miami, but there's also new people moving to Miami all the time.
Yeah.
And we're constantly, at the places that we are constantly sold out. So one of my goals with Little Saints this year for sure is to like figure out our wholesale distribution. We've got a tiny team. I'm our head of sales, just kind of a joke. We're just like doing the best we can with the staff that we have until we raise a Series A.
No, but I think that's so nice. Like Soho Beach House, it's, one of the premier members clubs down there. I think that would be really nice to lay on the beach and sip on Little Saints because, I mean, even if you are someone who still drinks alcohol and you want to partake in the nightlife that Miami has to offer, you don't really want to drink the whole day and the whole night. I think that Little Saints is a great thing to sip on while you're working on your tan on the beach.
Totally. I was never a good day drinker.
Refreshing.
And even at night, I'm sure you've heard the term zebra striping.
No. What is that?
Oh, so zebra striping, it's like the black stripe is the alcoholic drink and the white stripe is the non-alcoholic drink. So it's like we know it's like we're just a way more fun way to think about, like, how you're supposed to have the water in between every alcoholic drink.
Yes.
Like no one really wants to do that. So, like, now you can have, like, an alcoholic margarita, and then you can have a Little Saints margarita, and then you can have an alcoholic margarita and a Little Saints margarita.
Wow.
So we kind of like to talk about zebra striping, which, at night, like, even my brothers who are huge drinkers from Wisconsin, love them. They're hilarious. They're like, yeah, I'll, like, put your St. Juniper in with my gin, and then I drink less gin throughout the night.
Hey, that works too. Whatever works.
You do whatever you want.
It's seeds literally for everybody.
I'm like, good, because then you're getting at least some lion's mane so you can, like, help your brain rather than just killing it.
Oh, my goodness. You're too funny, Megan. Fine. All right, stay tuned. We're going to go to our last commercial break, but we'll be back. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970, The Answer.
Spring into wellness with Invite Health's Buy One, Get One Free sale. Right now, stock up on premium vitamins and supplements at InviteHealth.com. Buy any product at retail and get another free. It's that simple. Plus, get personalized advice from a nutritionist for free when you call. Whether you're boosting immunity, supporting your joints, increasing magnesium intake, or looking for help with your blood sugar, Invite Health's experts are here to help you thrive this spring. Visit InviteHealth.com or call 800-673-2345. Buy any Invite Health product at retail and get another free. Hurry, the Spring BOGO event won't last. Call 800-673-2345. 800-673-2345 to speak with a free nutritionist and order today. That's 800-673-2345 or go to InviteHealth.com to take advantage of the Buy One, Get One Free sale right now. Invite Health. Your spring wellness starts here.
Unity Bank is dedicated to community-oriented banking and offers a full range of services including business and personal accounts, business loans, and mortgages. Unity has locations throughout New Jersey and in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, expanding its footprint to 21 retail locations. Grow your savings with their great CD specials. Visit unitybank.com to find out more. Unity Bank is also a great place to work. As Unity Bank President and CEO James Hughes says, the people make Unity Bank a great place to work. We give our employees an opportunity to grow. At Unity Bank, there are no excess layers of bureaucracy as found at Goliath-sized banks. All employees have full access to management with encouragement to make decisions and grow their careers. Visit unitybank.com. That's unitybank.com for current CD and savings specials. They are FDIC insured, an equal opportunity employer, and an equal housing lender. Unity Bank, growing with you.
President Trump is moving at lightning speed.
And after that, all hell is going to break out.
Executive orders, new policies, promises kept. It's hard to keep up until now. Subscribe to the Trump Report. This email brings you daily highlights from the Oval Office right to your inbox 5 days a week.
I will put America first.
It'll help you follow President Trump at the speed of Trump.
Subscribe to the Trump Report. Go to am970theanswer.com/Trump.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher inviting you to join me on the Patriots Alaska Cruise this summer, along with Larry Elder, Joe Piscopo, Jennifer Horn. Enjoy Alaska's breathtaking beauty like never before. Text the keyword travel to 94878 to reserve your stateroom today. This luxury trip is your chance to experience majestic scenery, patriotism, adventure. We sail August 16th through the 23rd. Reserve your stateroom today. Text travel to 94878. That's travel to 94878.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to NewmanFerrara.com. That's NewmanFerrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970. The Answer.
I'm back with Little Saints founder Megan Klein. Little Saints has sold over 1 million beverages since its inception, with 80,000 orders on its website. This non-alcoholic functional mushroom-based beverage is all the rage right now. Megan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Christina.
Okay, as a 2-time brand founder and 3-time wellness entrepreneur, Megan's most recent venture is Little Saints, a non-alcoholic spirits line. Can we talk, Megan, about some of the other things you did before this? Because you're a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, well, for the past maybe 12 years I have been, but before that I was a lawyer in New York, and I didn't have any business training, and I was like, oh my God, I hate being a lawyer. Like, how am I going to get out of this? And so I was obsessed with the concept of vertical farming. Like, there will be 9 billion people in 2030. They're all going to be living in cities, and like, we need more food grown locally. And so long story short, the way I got out of being a lawyer and into being an entrepreneur was I had savings. So I like worked for equity only. So I didn't get paid for this vertical farm in Chicago. I moved to Chicago, and I was the general counsel for Farm Care, which was one time the largest vertical farm in the U.S.
Wow.
And that's how I that's how I got into being an entrepreneur, because all I wanted to do was be helpful and like learn the business. And so I just worked all the time, constantly kind of trying to figure things out. And, that's how I switched into being an entrepreneur. So I led Farm Here. And then as an entrepreneur, thank God my experience of shutting down a company is behind me, because that business was not viable. I wasn't one of the founders. We kind of realized that the technology was literally dying. So we shut down the farm and we pivoted, and we used to freeze our ugly basil and make it into salad dressing. So we created a brand out of that. So I created the brand Field and Farmer, which made plant-based salad dressings, dips, and juices.
That sounds amazing.
I was in Whole Foods nationwide for a long time. The brand was alive from 2017 to 2024. When I left in 2020, it was in Whole Foods nationally, and it was doing really well. And it stayed there until 2024 when it shut down. So I consider that brand a win. I loved it. I was really passionate. I still am passionate about like ingredient sourcings and relationships with local farmers. And so that's how
Do you think
Field and Farmer came to be.
Like COVID had anything to do with that brand kind of shutting down? Like a dip in
No, my business partners like still kept running it, and there's a manufacturing arm and there's a brand arm, and like they're all passionate about the manufacturing arm, and it was just doing much better than the brand. And brands take money and it's much more of a budget than the manufacturing does. So I think it was just a better fit for them to go with the manufacturing. So they do the private label for a lot of like plant-based foods brands that put out really great clean label things out into the world.
I want to talk about your personal health journey, because I know just from talking to you and following you on social media, you care about every single thing that goes on into your body. Like you did a post recently about like not even wanting to take Tylenol when you had a headache because you didn't want to mess up your gut microbiome. Like, tell me, like, how did you become so like in tune with what's going into your body?
It was not always like this. In my 20s, I had really bad chronic back pain. I was a paralegal in New York City. I was like an idiot. It was like during Sex and the City times, and I was like wearing like stilettos to walk like a mile to the subway, like so dumb. And then I was lifting boxes, and so I just destroyed my back. And I think what happened was I had a strain, and then I just never made it better because I was stilettos. And like, I ended up like just being in chronic pain for 3 years. I was a dork. I would walk around with like a back pillow and a purse. And like, I just my life was not okay. All I did was think about that pain. And so I was like, I've got to get out of this. And so that's sort of when I learned about, anti-inflammatory foods and like inflammation in the body. And like, that was the first time I didn't stop drinking for a long time, but that was the first time I was like, oh, okay, red wine like is inflammatory. And that's when I like first started getting into health a little bit, and then also into meditation, because the way that I finally really cured my back pain was like through a little bit of, I do super slow lifting training, like just like lifting weights really slowly, but then also like through some mindfulness practices. And then again, in my 30s, I had like really bad gastritis, just like I had like a burning in my stomach all the time. And then I got more into like, I would go to acupuncture all the time. And I was just sort of like constantly, studying my body, because I don't during that first fibromyalgia period, I took painkillers and muscle relaxers, and I was in full pharmaceutical land. And I was like, this sounds gross. Right. But like my digestive system was messed up all the time. I was like, I don't like this. So then the second time when I had all those stomach problems, I was like already on the track of like, I don't like pharmaceuticals for this type of thing. So I was already like exploring natural remedies for that.
I think you should come out with, and maybe this is an idea for down the road, like a functional mushroom-based cookbook.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right?
We did for our St. Juniper launch dinner. I've got this like great friend, Samantha, and she did this like amazing menu, and she actually did like a lion's mane and seafood ceviche.
Ooh.
And then she Yeah, and then she marinated some oysters with St. Juniper so that the lion's mane in them. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Or even like a mocktail book with your line of products.
Yeah, we're working on that one. So that's one is in the works. We know we need to get that done.
All right, but you are, like I said, a serial entrepreneur. So what's next for you? Because I know Little Saints is not going to be the last stop for Megan Klein.
Listen, but Little Saints has a long way to go. We have so much impact that we can make that we have not made yet, just because of the category's still young. Like, we don't have a lot of resources, and there's so many people that are kind of learning of the concept of, I hate the word biohacking, but that concept of longevity, what's my biological age? How can I really be the healthiest I can be? I feel like being the healthiest you can be right now is more trendy, for lack of a better word, than it ever has been. And Little Saints having the mushrooms and being sugar free, I think we can really make a big impact and help people, show that they still can have a good time and drink something, just not drink alcohol. I think we've made a little bit of an impact, but I just really am excited for the next, say, 3 years and see how much of an impact we can really make.
Yes, absolutely. Megan, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Thank you for your time. I'm a huge Little Saints fan, and I'm going to have it at all my parties moving forward. Thank you for all the products you sent me to try. I mean, like I told you before, I've had some friends try it out, and it's a home run. Everyone thinks it's incredible. So the sky's the limit for you. Thank you, Megan Klein of Little Saints. This was a fantastic hour with you. Joining the line now is Vanesa Miraglia from Beauties Magazine. She's calling in all the way down from Argentina in South America. She has a publication called Beauties that she's so graciously featuring me, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why. Vanesa, welcome to Culinary Confidential.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the introduction.
Oh, My pleasure. So Vanesa has this incredible magazine, an e-magazine called Beauties. And Vanesa, you've featured me so graciously on your magazine for an upcoming feature. So I just want to describe what the magazine is, because it's an artistic and journalistic magazine, and it's a publication that serves as a platform for engaging in meaningful conversations with artists. You launched this magazine in 2020, and you carve out a unique space for highlighting artists who have something meaningful to share. And for the world of me, I can't understand why you want to feature me in your magazine. Have you ever had a radio host, on one of your platforms before?
No, I think I haven't, but I wanted to feature you because of your story. I think it's very rich and very important to share. I really loved what you have to share with your experience, with everything you know about food, your story with the kids. I think it was really, really nice to share.
Wow, that is so sweet. My goodness. Tell everybody how we met, how we got connected.
We connect because of my friends Lucas A. Ferrara,
who, if you've been listening to the show, he's the producer of my show. So Vanesa and Lucas, you know each other from his movies that he produces also?
Exactly. Yes, we know because of the movies he produced. He's always reaching out with great artists who has really great stories to share, and I found very, very inspirational about them.
Yes. But you've never featured Lucas in one of your profiles, right?
I should. I
that's okay.
We have to convince him. I don't know if he...
Yeah, he likes the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself, Vanesa.
Well, I am from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 32 years old, and I love reading about people, getting inspired by them, and sharing their stories. I don't really classify myself as a journalist, even that's something I do. But what I really love is telling their stories, helping them have a voice to share their stories in a way that's organic, in a way that's real, natural,
Yes.
That they can really express themselves, the true essence of themselves.
So what
words.
kind of artists have you had featured in your magazine before? Is it mostly actors and celebrities, creative types?
Yes, it's mostly actors. I don't really close doors to people who want to tell stories.
Oh, that's a nice mindset to have. It's really a beautiful publication. I mean, I did check it out before, you did the feature on me, and I really commend you for it. You tell the story so beautifully, and you ask the people that you're featuring such interesting questions, and it really helps paint a picture of who they are. So you couldn't pick a better job to do for a living. You're in your wheelhouse for sure. Where can the listeners view your publication Beauties?
Oh yes, they can find me on Instagram or on my website, which is beauties.co.uk.
Amazing. Is there anything else you want to tell us about the magazine or about any upcoming features you have besides me?
The upcoming feature, besides you, I have prepared. I'm working with another artist who Lucas.
Oh, another one for Lucas? Huh.
Yes.
How appropriate.
Right.
Wait, does he have another new movie coming out?
Coming soon is another issue coming out about an artist from Dance of London, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Amazing. Well, it was such an honor to be featured in your publication Beauties. So I thank you again, Vanesa. And if you're ever in New York, please stop by the studio. We'd love to see you. That's Vanesa Miraglia from Beauties magazine, all the way down in Argentina, but she has a global audience listening or watching rather her publication. So that's the show. Thanks for listening and have a great night.
preceding program is sponsored by Shake It Off Live, LLC.